Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you the inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we're talking all about Mercury entering Aquarius. We are talking about it just a little bit ahead of schedule. We're also talking all about the North Node entering Pisces. But in case you missed it, last week we talked about everything that happens during Aquarius season. So if you want to know more about what's to come during the season, then definitely check out last week's episode before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything that you need to know about the new moon in Aquarius and the end of Uranus retrograde and how those will affect you.
And with that being said, let's dive into the episode. So the first thing we are going to be talking about is Mercury entering Aquarius. This happens on January 27th at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. What you need to know. Mercury in Aquarius will shift your communication and thought patterns towards that of innovation, being more objective and being more original. This is a really good time for brainstorming and looking at things through a more futuristic lens where you're able to see how things might pan out, come up with some creative solutions for your problems, and take on fresh perspectives.
How you might feel, you might notice more of a focus on being curious and feeling more open to question any norms or even challenge outdated ideas. Your conversations might become more logical, helping you to see the facts clearly without dwelling on emotions.
Where this will show up in your life, how are you going to notice Mercury in Aquarius? At work, you might notice that all of a sudden there are more innovative proposals being pitched, or people might start questioning old systems. In your social circles, you might notice that people want to talk more about more progressive topics as well as some plans for the future. In general, you might experience that people want to talk more about tech-related issues, or you might decide that you want to try new apps or join online groups. All of this is very fitting for what's going on in the current events right now.
What will become important to you? One of your main priorities while Mercury's in Aquarius will be expressing yourself authentically. You might feel the need to shake things up or try out new routines, especially if you find that you're currently in the routine of doing things the way that you think they're supposed to be done. While Mercury's in Aquarius, this could be a time to step outside of the box and explore new ways of doing things so that you're able to switch things up, try something new, and keep things exciting for yourself.
If you're wondering how long this lasts, Mercury will stay in Aquarius until February 14th at 7:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when Mercury will enter Pisces. So you have between January 27th and February 14th to experience Mercury in Aquarius.
And per usual, certain signs will be more affected than others. The signs that are most affected are Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio. Personal placements only, meaning Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, or Mars placements.
Now, there are some key dates you're going to want to pay attention to while Mercury moves through Aquarius. Starting off with January 27th, Mercury will sextile the North Node, making this a really good day for conversations that are more meaningful. You might notice that new opportunities might present themselves to you that could inspire you to move in a direction that aligns with your bigger purpose.
And then on January 29th, Mercury will be conjunct Pluto. On this day, you might notice that things are starting to come to the surface, whether that is in your relationships or even within yourself. It's a good time to self reflect and to ask yourself or others questions in order to gain a better understanding.
Next, on February 3rd, Mercury will trine Jupiter. This aspect is fantastic for planning, for networking, or learning something totally new. You might notice that you're feeling a little bit more optimistic. And through collaborating and talking with others, maybe some doors might open that you hadn't considered before.
And lastly, on February 10th, Mercury will be square Uranus. This is a day where you might notice sudden shifts in communication. New ideas might come up, whether that's in the news or something that you notice online. There can be some hiccups when it comes to communication or technology, but overall, remember to stay flexible because some of these new ideas can lead to sudden breakthroughs.
So, the next big thing happening in astrology that you're going to want to pay attention to is the North Node shifting into Pisces. This happens on January 29th at 1:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which also can mean it's happening on January 28th if you're in a different coast. That is the date and time from astroseek.com. I have seen other dates circulating, just so you understand where we got our information from. Regardless, what you need to know, this is the beginning of a 1.5 year long cycle where we as a society or as a collective will be more focused on Pisces themes such as spiritual growth, compassion, and creative expression. The North Node indicates the direction we are heading in, and it also sets the eclipse cycle. So, on a more societal level, all of those themes such as intuition and embracing a more fluid, imaginative way of living become a little bit more of a priority.
How you might feel with the North Node shifting into Pisces, you might find that you're more focused on your emotional or intuitive side. This could also increase your sensitivity, encouraging you to embrace empathy for others and to also see beyond the surface in your everyday experiences.
So, where this will show up in your life, you might notice that more conversations or events centered around artistic endeavors or spiritual practices, think like group meditations, those might start to pop up more often, or you might feel more drawn to participate in them. You might notice that the people around you are more compassionate and empathetic compared to usual, even if they are already very compassionate and empathetic people. And you might also notice that there's more of an uptick in creative activities being promoted or just trending online.
What will become important to you because Pisces is a mutable sign? There's going to be more of a focus on going with the flow. This is a good time to release perfectionism and to embrace the creative process and allow yourself to express yourself in ways that aren't linear. So, this can be a time of healing, and it also can guide you towards a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you.
If you're wondering how long this lasts, the North Node will stay in Pisces until August 19th of 2026. That's when the North Node will move into Aquarius. As I mentioned earlier, this is a 1.5 year long cycle.
The signs that are most affected by the North Node in Pisces are Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius. Again, this is personal placements only. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, or Mars. So if you have planets in those signs, you're going to feel this energy more strongly.
And that is it for this week's episode. Just a reminder, next week we'll be talking all about the new moon in Aquarius as well as Uranus retrograde ending. So if you want to know more about those, then definitely make sure wherever you're listening to the podcast, you're subscribed with the notifications turned on so you don't miss when we post next week. But until then, that is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday.